Welcome. Before you continue, pause for a second. Take a deep breath, because what I'm about to tell you might completely change how you see English, and maybe even how you see yourself. Today, we're not talking about grammar. We're not talking about vocabulary lists. We're not talking about complicated rules. We're talking about something much deeper. We're talking about identity. Let me ask you something, honestly. How many years have you been learning English? 1 year? 3 years? 5? Maybe more? And still, when it's time to speak, your heart beats faster, your throat gets tight, your mind suddenly forgets everything. Simple words disappear, sentences break. You understand, you read, you watch, you even think you're ready. But when the moment comes, silence. And you ask yourself, what's wrong with me? Let me tell you something very clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not bad at English. You are not slow. You are not incapable. You are simply learning the wrong way. Because you were taught that English is a subject, but English is not a subject. It's a living skill. And living skills are not memorized, they are embodied. Here's the truth most teachers never say. You don't become fluent by studying English. You become fluent by becoming an English speaker. There is a difference. When you study, you observe. When you speak, you transform. Right now, you are standing outside the language, watching it, analyzing it, trying to control it. But fluency begins the moment you step inside it. Let me explain something powerful. Your brain does not build confidence from understanding. It builds confidence from experience. You can understand 100 grammar rules, but if you've only spoken 10 times, your brain says, this is dangerous, this is unfamiliar, and it freezes you. Confidence is not knowledge. Confidence is repetition under emotion. That's why some people with small vocabulary speak boldly, and others with perfect grammar stay silent. Because fluency is not built in books, it is built in movement. You have to use your voice, even when it shakes, especially when it shakes. Let me give you a new perspective. Think about when you were a child. Did you wait to speak your native language until your grammar was perfect? No. You made mistakes, thousands of them. You mispronounced words, you mixed tenses, you said silly things. And nobody told you to stop. Nobody said, wait until you are ready. You became fluent because you were allowed to be imperfect. But now, you judge yourself for every small mistake. You expect perfection before permission, and that expectation is killing your progress. So today, I want you to make a decision. Not to learn English, but to live in English for 5 minutes a day. Not passively, not silently, actively. Here's how. Every day, choose one small situation. Ordering coffee, introducing yourself, explaining your day, talking about your dreams. Stand up in your room and act it out. Yes, act. Not whisper, not read. Perform it. Use your hands, use your face, use your emotion. Because language is not robotic, it is emotional. Say, good morning, I'd like a coffee, please. Say it like you mean it. Say, today was exhausting, but I learned something important. Feel it. When you add emotion, your brain marks the experience as real. And when your brain thinks something is real, it stores it deeper. Now let me tell you another secret. Fluency is rhythm. If you speak word by word, you will always sound unsure. But when you speak in thought groups, you sound natural. Not, I want to improve my English, but I want to improve my English. Not, I am going to try, but I'm gonna try. Language is flow. And flow only comes when you stop controlling every word. Here's an exercise that will change everything. Every day for 30 days, record yourself speaking for 1 minute. No script, no reading, Just speak about your day, your feelings, your goals, your fears. The first day will feel terrible. You'll pause, you'll repeat, you'll cringe. Good. That means growth is starting. By day 5, you'll notice fewer pauses. By day 10, your voice will sound stronger. By day 20, you won't recognize the old version of yourself. Why? Because repetition builds identity, and identity builds confidence. Stop saying, I am learning English. Start saying, I am becoming someone who speaks English. There is power in that difference, because when you change your identity, your behavior follows. Let me say something that might feel uncomfortable. You are not afraid of English. You are afraid of judgment. You are afraid of being seen trying. You are afraid of sounding different. But let me ask you, which is more painful, sounding imperfect for 6 months or staying silent for 6 years? Growth is loud, silence is comfortable, but comfort keeps you small. Every fluent speaker you admire once sounded terrible. Every confident voice you hear once trembled. They didn't wait to feel ready. They spoke until they became ready. That's the difference. And now it's your turn. From today, your mission is simple. 5 minutes, every day. Voice on, fear ignored. Train your mouth, train your rhythm, train your emotion, train your identity. And most importantly, forgive yourself for not being perfect. Because fluency is not about perfect sentences. It's about brave sentences. It's about speaking even when your grammar is not clean. It's about expressing even when your vocabulary is small. It's about choosing growth over comfort. One day you will look back at this moment and you will realize this was the turning point. Not because you learned a new rule, but because you decided to use your voice. And when you finally stand in front of someone and speak clearly and feel your words flowing naturally, you won't just say, my English improved. You'll say, I changed. So, don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for confidence. Don't wait for permission. Start speaking. Messy, emotional, real. Because the moment you start living the language instead of studying it, that's the moment English becomes yours.
Now, let's go deeper. Because there's another reason you're not fluent yet. And this one is uncomfortable. You don't trust your own voice. Read that again. You don't trust your own voice. Every time you start speaking English, there's a second voice inside your head saying, is this correct? Maybe this sounds stupid. Maybe I should stop. Maybe they're judging me. That voice is not protecting you, it is limiting you. Fluency is impossible when your mind is fighting your mouth. So we need to fix something bigger than pronunciation. We need to fix your relationship with mistakes. Let me ask you something powerful. When a baby learns to walk and falls, do we say, you're bad at walking, stop trying? No. We smile, we clap, we encourage. But when you make one mistake in English, what do? You attack yourself. You say, I'm so bad, I'll never speak. This is not for me. Do you see the difference? A baby falls 100 times and keeps walking. You make one mistake and stop speaking. That's not an English problem. That's a mindset problem. And today, we fix it. From now on, every mistake is proof of movement. If you are making mistakes, you are training. If you are silent, you are stuck. Choose which one you prefer. Now let's talk about speed. Many learners think, when I know more vocabulary, I will speak faster. Wrong. Speed does not come from vocabulary. Speed comes from decision-making. Fluent speakers don't search for perfect words. They choose the first good enough word and move. You, on the other hand, try to find the perfect word, and while you search, the moment dies. The conversation moves on, and you stay quiet. So here's a new rule for you. Clarity over perfection, speed over beauty, connection over grammar. If you can say, I very like this, instead of I really like this, say it. Keep moving. Fluency grows in motion, not in hesitation. Now I want to talk about something nobody explains properly: energy. When you speak with low energy, your English sounds weak, not because your grammar is bad, but because your voice carries uncertainty. Try this experiment right now. Say, "I can do this." First, say it quietly, low energy, no emotion. Now say it louder, stand up, chest open, look forward. I can do this.
Feel the difference? Your English didn't change. Your energy did. And energy changes perception. People don't only hear your words, they feel your confidence. So from today, never practice English sitting like you're apologizing. Stand, move, breathe deeply, use your diaphragm, project your voice. Because English is not whispered into the world, it is expressed. Let's go even deeper. There are 3 levels of speaking. Level 1, translation mode. You think in your language. You translate, you panic. Level 2, construction mode. You build sentences slowly in English. You focus on grammar. You hesitate. Level 3, expression mode. You think in ideas. You speak in flow. You don't overanalyze. Right now, you are between level 1 and 2. Our goal is level 3. And how do we get there? Not by studying harder, but by reducing fear and increasing exposure. Here's a powerful exercise. For the next 30 days, talk to yourself in English every day. Not silently, out loud. When you wake up, okay, let's start the day. When you're cooking, I'm cutting vegetables now. When you're tired, I don't feel motivated, but I'll keep going. This is not childish. This is training your brain to normalize English. When English becomes normal, fear disappears. Fear only lives in unfamiliar territory. Make English familiar. Now I'm going to say something bold. Stop consuming so much English content passively. Yes, stop just watching. Stop just listening. For every 10 minutes you consume, you must produce 5 minutes. Input without output creates illusion of progress. You feel productive, but your mouth stays weak. Balance it. Watch 5 minutes, pause, repeat. Summarize it in your own words, even if it's simple. Simple spoken English is stronger than complex silent English. Now let's talk about identity again. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine yourself speaking English confidently. Imagine you're in a conversation. You're smiling. You're relaxed. Words are flowing. You're not translating. Feel that version of you. That version already exists. It's not a different person. It's a trained version of you. The only difference between you now and that version is repetition and courage. That's it. No magic, no secret talent, no special brain. Just repetition and courage. And here's the final truth for today. Fluency is not a language goal. It's a personal growth journey. Because to become fluent, you must face embarrassment, accept imperfection, build discipline, develop confidence, train consistency. English is just the tool. The real transformation is you. One day, someone will say, "Wow, your English is so good," and you'll smile. But what they won't see is the days you felt stupid, the recordings you deleted, the sentences you repeated 50 times, the fear you pushed through. They'll only see the result, but you'll know the truth. You built it, word by word, minute by minute, day by day. So don't stop now. Don't go back to silent learning. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it. 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes when you don't feel like it. Because discipline creates freedom. And one day, very soon, you won't say, "I'm trying to speak English." You'll say, "I speak English." Not perfectly, not like a native, but confidently, clearly, freely. And that freedom is worth every uncomfortable moment you face starting today. Now, take a breath and speak one sentence out loud, right now. Your journey isn't starting tomorrow. It starts with the next word that leads.
Now let me ask you something even more powerful. Who are you when no one is watching? When you are alone in your room, when there is no teacher, no classmates, no audience, do you still speak? Or do you only practice when it feels safe? Because here's the truth. Private discipline creates public confidence. If you only speak when someone asks you to, you are not training fluency. You are reacting. Fluent speakers are not reactive. They are proactive. They don't wait for opportunities to speak. They create them. So from now on, I want you to build something called silent discipline, loud results. Every day, even if nobody sees you, even if nobody praises you, even if nobody knows, you train, you speak, you repeat, you record, you improve. Because confidence built in silence becomes power in public. Now let's destroy another myth. You think fluent people are not nervous. Wrong. They are nervous. They just speak anyway. Courage is not absence of fear. It is action despite fear. Your hands might shake. Your heart might race. Your voice might crack. Speak anyway. Because every time you speak through fear, your brain rewires itself. It says, oh, we survived. And the next time, less fear, then less, then less. Until one day, you realize you're not afraid anymore. Not because English changed, but because you changed. Let's talk about identity one more time, but deeper. Right now, maybe you see yourself as a student, a beginner, someone who is not ready. But what if you started saying, I am in training? Athletes don't say, I'm bad at running. They say, I'm training. Training assumes progress. Training assumes growth. Training assumes future strength. So stop saying, my English is bad. Start saying, my English is in training. Words shape identity. Identity shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. Now let's unlock something powerful. Momentum. Fluency is not built in big jumps. It's built in tiny daily wins. One clear sentence, one smoother recording, one less hesitation, one confident conversation. Small wins create momentum. Momentum creates belief. Belief creates identity. Identity creates fluency. That's the formula. But here's the danger. Most people quit before momentum begins. They practice for 3 days, then stop, then restart, then stop again, and they think, I'm not improving. No, you're not consistent. Fluency rewards consistency, not intensity. 5 minutes daily beats 2 hours once a week, always. Now imagine something with me. It's 1 year from now. You're in a real conversation, maybe with a foreign friend, maybe in a job interview, maybe traveling, and you're speaking. Not perfectly, but smoothly. You're laughing, you're expressing ideas, you're reacting naturally. And suddenly you realize, I'm not translating. That moment, that's freedom. That's the reward. That's what you're building right now with every uncomfortable practice session. Let's go even deeper. There will be days you don't feel motivated, days you feel tired, days you feel embarrassed, days you think, what's the point? Those days matter most, because anyone can practice when motivated, but only serious learners practice when tired. Discipline is showing up when emotions are absent. And remember this, motivation starts you, discipline transforms you. Now I want to challenge you.
For the next 30 days, speak every single day. Record yourself every single day. Listen back without judging. Improve one small thing daily. Not 10 things, one thing. Maybe clearer pronunciation, maybe stronger voice, maybe better rhythm.
Tiny improvement. Daily repetition. After 30 days, you won't be the same speaker. That's impossible. Growth is guaranteed when repetition is guaranteed. And finally, let me say something straight from the heart. English is not just a language, it's a door. A door to opportunities, a door to global conversations, a door to confidence, a door to a bigger version of yourself. But the door does not open with perfect grammar. It opens with consistent courage. So stop waiting, stop doubting, stop asking, "Am I ready?" You become ready by speaking. You become fluent by speaking. You become confident by speaking. And the only person who can start that process is you, right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. Right now. Take a breath. Stand up. Say one sentence loudly and clearly. I am becoming fluent. Say it again and again. Because the journey doesn't start when your English is perfect. It starts when you decide your voice deserves to be heard. And from this moment forward, it will be.